Hi crochet friends, welcome back to my channel. I'm Stefania and today I'm going to be showing you how I make my fruit slice keychains. This is a beginner-friendly tutorial, but if you need any help with specific stitches, check out my Crochet 101 series. This project works up in about 15 to 20 minutes, so you can have a whole fruit salad worth of keychains before too long. At the time of filming, we're only 3 subscribers away from hitting 300 in this community. If you want to be a founding member of my crochet crew, make sure you hit that subscribe button as well. With all of that out of the way, let's jump into the tutorial. This pattern can be used to make any sort of fruit slice that you can imagine. In this tutorial, I'll be showing you how I make my watermelon slice, but as you can see here, I've also made an orange slice, passion fruit, kiwi, lime, and dragon fruit. For this tutorial, you will need yarn in the colors of your choosing, a crochet hook that goes with that yarn. Mine is a 4mm Susan Bates hook, a yarn needle, a pair of scissors, some stuffing, and optionally a keyring. We'll begin with the color used at the center of our keychain. In the case of the watermelon, that's going to be red. With our first color, we're going to make a magic circle and put 6 single crochet stitches into the circle. Before tightening the circle, I like to insert my hook into that first stitch. Then I pull on the tail. In the next round, we'll be increasing in each of the 6 stitches. So at the end of the round, we'll have 12 stitches in our circle. In the next round, we'll be doing 1 single crochet stitch, and then in the next stitch, we'll be doing an increase. So 2 single crochet stitches in 1 stitch. Repeat this pattern 6 times, resulting in 18 stitches in the round. Now, if you're choosing to make the kiwi, here's where we would put our first color change, from white into green. But since we're making a watermelon, we'll continue with red. In the next round, we're going to do 2 single crochet stitches, then an increase, repeated 6 times, resulting in 24 stitches around. For the next round, we'll be placing 3 single crochet stitches, then an increase, repeated 6 times, giving us 30 stitches in our circle. Now that we've got 30 stitches in our circle, it's time to change colors. As you can see, with the watermelon, the citrus slices, and the passion fruit, we changed to white 1 row before our final row. To do this, we'll start a single crochet stitch, but instead of yarning over and finishing the stitch with our first color yarn, we'll take the white yarn and, leaving a little bit of a tail, we'll yarn over and pull that loop through. When we then go to continue our single crochet stitches, after cutting it, I like putting the tail of the white yarn and the tail of the old yarn across the top of the stitches so that when we do our single crochet stitches, they're held in place. In this next round, we're going to do 4 single crochet stitches, then an increase, repeated 6 times, resulting in 36 stitches around. For our last round, we're going to again change our colors. So start a single crochet stitch, introduce your final color to complete that stitch. Cut the tail of your second color, and continue crocheting over the top of those tails. With all of the fruit slice examples, we switch colors for the final round. In this round, we're going to put 5 single crochet stitches, then an increase, repeated 6 times, resulted in 42 stitches around. After completing that final increase, we're going to pull a long loop with our yarn, but don't tie or cut this yarn just yet. We're going to resume crocheting after we stitch on our seeds. To add on our seeds, I take a small length of our black yarn and thread it through the yarn needle. Coming from the back of the slice, I pull the length through, leaving a little bit of a tail. Then I go around my watermelon slice, adding seeds wherever I want them to be. The only thing you want to be aware of is that you're not capturing the loop or the tail of your final color while you're stitching back and forth. Once you're happy with the amount of seeds in your fruit slice, flip the project over and tie the 2 tails of the yarn together. You don't need to pull them too tight so that your piece is deformed, but you want to make sure that the tails are nice and secure so that you don't lose your seeds later. As you can see with this watermelon example, I placed the seeds randomly around the fruit slice. This is a similar method to how I do the dragon fruit, but for the passion fruit, I put the seeds horizontally along the stitches instead of vertically. For the kiwi fruit, I place the seeds around where the white transitions into the green. For the citrus slices, I don't add the seeds themselves, but instead I use a white yarn to add the segments of the fruit. Now that we've got the seeds, it's time to resume crocheting. So we'll pick up our piece, insert our hook back into that loop, and tighten it down. We're then going to fold our piece in half, and inserting our hook into the front loop here, and the one that's behind it when the piece is folded, we'll slip stitch them together. Continue joining the 2 sides using slip stitches all the way up the fruit slice. If you know a different finishing stitch, feel free to do it however you like. I'm using the slip stitch here to just keep it a bit more straightforward. You can choose to add the loop for the keyring wherever you like in this keychain. With the example watermelon, you can see that I put the loop halfway through the slice, but with the other fruits, I put it at the top. For this watermelon, I'm going to put the loop at the top, so I'm going to continue slip stitching my way up. Before closing the project fully, we can't forget to stuff it. I like to take a bit of my stuffing and loosely pull it apart just to fluff it up a little bit. I then push it into my fruit slice and try to distribute it evenly. Once you're happy with the amount of stuffing in your fruit slice, continue closing up the 2 sides. Like I said, I wanted my loop at the very top of my fruit slice, so now that I'm there, it's time to add that part. To add a loop, chain 15 times, then slip stitch into the same stitch that the loop started out from. If there's any other stitches you need to do to complete closing your fruit slice, do that now, before chaining 1 and pulling a bit of a tail to sew in later. To sew in the tail, just take your yarn needle and make sure you're going through some of the stitches. If you simply tuck your tail into the center of your keychain, it runs the risk of being pulled out later. By going in between the stitches, it's a lot more secure. Now that I've secured that tail, I'll go ahead and trim it short, and the fruit slice keychain is complete. Now, to attach the key ring, you can pull the loop through the keyring, then reach through the loop, grab the keyring itself, and pull it tight. You can of course open up the keyring and insert the loop in between the layers, but I like doing it in this method because it doesn't run the risk of hurting my nails. And there we have our completed fruit slice keychain. Let me know in the comments which fruit you would want to turn into a fruit slice. Thanks for watching till the end of the video. If you liked this video, make sure you leave a like, and if you loved it, hit that subscribe button and turn on post notifications. That way, YouTube should let you know the next time I put out a new video. I can't thank each one of you enough for the support that you've shown while I've started making these YouTube videos. I'm always open to suggestions, so if you have any ideas or feedback, leave those in the comments down below. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!